Welcome back to Make Your Mark, the podcast that helps artists break through the noise and define themselves in music. I'm Soul.
And I'm Greg.
And we are back with yet another conversation.
Ooh, spicy.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Love it.
Yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about. That's why we're back with yet another conversation. The state of the music industry is fascinating right now. There's a lot going on, a lot of crazy collaborations, a lot of creative juice flowing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what are you thinking about it? Are you liking what's going on?
I mean, like, dude, here's my take on it. Like, Suicide Boys kind of opened up a door, I think, for, like, metal. Like,
okay. Hot take right out the gate. I love that.
Yeah, it bridged a gap with this newer generation that listened to rap a lot, and it was more of, like, that trap rap kind of, like, screaming-esque kind of thing. Ghostmane, same thing. Like, that stuff, like, really opened up a door, but then they were like, oh, there was this whole emo thing, and now you see, like, baby emos everywhere. Like, there was, like, 6 of them at the bar last night. So it's like, and I'm like, oh, shit, like, they're out there now, and they're listening to metal, and they listen to, like, Suicide Boys and stuff like that. So, like, seeing these collabs, like, with, like, Denzel Curry and Ice-T and stuff like that, bro, like.
Well, Denzel Curry and Knock Loose, and then Ice-T with Alpha Wolf, right?
Wolf. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like you're seeing these overlays a little bit with rap and metal, and I think Lil Wayne even has like said he wanted to do something, and I'm like, that. I mean, it checks out because that's like what he does. He's creative like that. Like he wants to do more creative stuff, but like that's becoming more of a norm, and it's cool to see like different genres blend together.
The cross-genre collaboration is really cool to see, I think.
Yeah, because we're not pigeonholing ourselves into one genre anymore.
It is one of those things where I feel like you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of opinions in between. You either like it or you just don't think it should be happening. I personally think it's really cool, and it is bringing metal. That might be part of why metal has made its way more so into the mainstream. It's
definitely in the mainstream now. Like, not like it used to be. For sure.
The similarities between certain genres such as rap and hip hop and the similarities to metal are being recognized, I think.
100%.
And the fact that, metal artists listen to other genres or incorporating elements of rap and hip hop into their music. Anytime you hear like groove based kind of swagger in metal, like the Deficit is a good band from Australia that does that. Alpha Wolf has quite a bit of swagger. Traitors has a lot of swagger. And that's just 2 genres that we mentioned so far. There's also like Polyphia and Issues that incorporate a lot of technicality.
R&B kind of like rap kind of like groove to it. I mean, shit, fucking Knock Loose had a reggaeton beat in their drums.
Right.
Like, I'm like, bro, what? Like, I'm like, as a Puerto Rican, I was like, hey, yo, like that's a reggaeton beat. Like that's
pretty tight.
I was like, that is crazy. Like, but I know that beat because it's in like almost every single song in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Because that's like where we hear it the most. But then you hear it in metal and you're like, yo, what? Like,
right.
That's a wild take, but I love seeing it just because there's so much more to grow off of. You're like, wow.
Right.
You can genre bend a little bit here and there with patterns.
Yeah. And the truth is, it's just a cadence, but you put it in a different frame like that, and all of a sudden it's looked at as groundbreaking.
Right, like, but it's like been there forever.
Yeah, it's real simple, but I feel like the issue before it started happening is that people just looked at that reggaeton beat and metal music and they're like, that doesn't belong there. Now I feel like people are coming around to the fact that it really doesn't matter.
Nah, dude.
There's no rules.
People are
in
genre
music.
bending now like crazy, which is tight. Like, I love that. I love genre bending. I'm like, ooh, okay.
I think it's tight. There's also another artist called Jake Hill. I am Jake Hill, who literally will slap a metal breakdown into the middle of a rap song. And it's just out of nowhere. And if you are getting up on your high horse about, oh, that's breaking the rules, like, oh, that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't belong there, or whatever, you just don't get it. Because he did it because it's cool to hear, and he did it because he doesn't care if it's supposed to happen or not. He's writing music.
I mean,
I think it's cool.
obviously successful enough for you to recognize it, right? So it's like,
Right. I mean, Jake Hill's doing country stuff too, and he's going on tour. He's doing well, like very well.
so yeah, I'm like, what's the problem here?
As long as there's an audience for it,
That is exactly what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah. Like you're allowed to do that as an artist. You can do whatever you want. And
it's not gonna be for everybody. But it's gonna be for some people, and the some people it might be a lot of people. So
you never know.
you never know. You
And
just
you're-
gotta roll the dice and just go for it.
And you're never going to find out if you don't try it. That's the thing about these artists who come out of nowhere doing something that people haven't heard before, and
Or
all of a
seemingly
sudden,
like experimental for them.
right, and doing something that a lot of people haven't heard before. But it's not that they discovered this sound behind the scenes and they're like, this is gonna pop, like this is gonna be really popular. They really just channeled their own authenticity through their craft and started writing music that just happened to sound very unique.
Right.
And the way that you discover an authentic sound is by doing something that you like the way it sounds and something that is just unique to you, because
Oh yeah.
nobody can create the way that you create. If you do it exactly the way that you would like to do it without thinking about, is this going to fit into this niche? Is there going to be an audience for this? If you don't worry about those things, you're going to come up with something that it might not be the first time it's ever been done, but it's going to sound more unique than if you try and come up with something that will capture a certain audience that already
Yeah.
exists. Because here's another one, Sleeping with Sirens, where at the time that they first came out, they just released a single recently for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when they first started out, it was kind of brand new.
right.
Like they weren't the first ones to do it, I don't think, but they were doing something that they liked and something that they believed in, and they weren't thinking about, are people going to like this? Like, is there an audience for this? Are we going to get on tour for this?
Right.
They just believed in it and they put it out, and it's something that
There's a
took
lot to
off.
be said about doing something that's authentic to you. Like when you do it for the first time, you're just like, oh, okay, that works. Like really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who it has to work out for, is you.
Right.
Like it has to. So
That's at the ground level.
yeah. Like
It's-
everything else, we can get into 3 hours of that conversation, basically just talking about like what it takes, like when you're releasing your own authentic music by yourself and doing
Right.
what you're doing. Like you find you, and then you're like, okay, now how are we gonna promote this? Like,
Right.
so that's a whole nother ballgame.
Along that vein, let's we're talking about releasing music, so let's go with this one. I have a question for you.
Ooh.
A Moment's Notice
Uh-huh.
is releasing new music, and
Yep.
you're recording towards an album, and you are morphing your sound a little bit. I've heard differences in the sound, and from what I've talked with you about behind the scenes, it sounds like you're looking to go further in that direction. So
Yeah.
you're obviously pursuing some form of sound change. So
Yeah.
what would you say to a band that is interested in evolving their sound and doesn't know how to go about it with their existing fans?
I mean, I think like the biggest thing is like you have to like when you're creating this music, like you're doing it for the fans a lot of the time. You're doing a lot of it for yourself as well, but like a lot of it is for that live performance kind of like feeling. And that's like the true treat right there. Like personally, I hate recording. I love creating it, but I hate recording it because it's like you're just there for days and it's just like you're like it's brutal. But when you're going and you're pivoting and changing your sound, you don't want to lose too much of that authenticity of what like originally gained your following. But being true to yourself as well. And like I think a lot like on this like like Fear and Loathing came out and that was a cool album for what it was worth. But then there was you pivot and you look at what we're writing now, and I would like to think that there's an authenticity there that I was nervous about. I was kind of apprehensive to do it to begin with. And we all had a conversation and was just like, hey, man, do we want to do this? And I'm like, we kind of shot it out like, hey, like, is this what we're gonna do? And then everybody kind of unanimously was like, yeah, we should definitely like pivot and do it this way. And I recorded a couple songs with a friend of mine, and I brought him to the band and was like, hey, like, what do you guys want to do with this? And they were just like, yo, that's it. Like,
Okay.
that's it.
They rallied around it.
Yeah, like they were like, because like we sold the idea originally, and it was like kind of like, okay, yeah, let's see how that works. And then I was just like, you know, I was busy doing other shit, and then one day I was just like, hey, like, what do you guys think about this track? And I like showed them it here in the studio, and they were like, yo, this is tight. Like, what is this? What we're gonna do? And I'm like, I think so. And I'm like, I'm a little nervous to do it, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Like, let's have fun.
Okay.
Like, let's enjoy it. And
Did it feel like it was time for something like that to happen?
see, not in the moment. I mean, yeah, it seemed like something had to pivot like a little bit, but like I didn't know what. I didn't really have the answer. It wasn't to the second day of recording. I've never listened to an instrumental of a song that is my own song, and it made me emotional. And we have the song "Meant for More," and I cried like happy tears like 3 times during the song when we were listening to it back before I tracked vocals. So it's like, it just like, I was like, this is right. Like, everything about this is right.
You clearly connected with it.
Yeah, like I connected with it so deeply, and I like to say that it's the first time, like, as a vocalist in this band, that like I found it and was like, nah, I'm gonna crush this. Like, I'm gonna fucking kill it. Like,
Okay. You went in confidently.
Yeah, like I'm gonna knock this out of the park. Like, there's zero reason for me not to. And then if I go and listen back and the takes aren't where I want them to be, I'm going back in and doing them again. Like, I'm gonna be like really critical about this, because one, it's a new sound. It's still got that AMN feel to it. There's just a lot of different dynamics now that are so different in so many ways, and it's really hard to explain. But like, when we got Anthony, there was such an element that he brought into the band that I wanted to like play off of, and I was like, hey, we should do something that like plays to each other's strengths. So we found everybody's strengths in the band and was just like, cool. And then, spoiler alert, I started singing in front of them, and they were like, yo, you need to sing. And then I recorded a song in the studio with our producer, and then he's like, you just fucked yourself. We have to sing. And he's like,
They said this will not be the last time.
he's like, this is not the last time you're doing this. Like, he's like, this is different in a way that makes sense for you. And I was just so like, in a way, in disbelief when it first started happening. So when we started changing that sound, I was just like, I still hadn't even bought into it fully until very recently. And then I was just like, oh shit, like, this is it. This is the sound I've been searching for. So, yeah, like, when you're a new artist and you're going into like doing something like that and it's for growth, just do what feels right. And if it makes you more emotional than any other time you've ever been making music, you're on the right path.
Okay.
Like,
I would agree with that.
As musicians, we are very highly emotional when it comes to our art, and sometimes that can get lost in like the business aspect of it. But if that shit makes you legitimately like pumped so hard, like, about like everything that's going on, you're just like, yes, hell yeah, fuck yeah, like, this is tight, I'm pumped, like, this is the best song that we've ever wrote. Like, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need to be chasing. But you need to like put in that work too. Like, you need to like record some shit that's going to be even tough for you to do live, and you're going to be like, gotta lock in, just gotta do it. And that's a long way of saying, like, just gotta send it, dude.
Just send it.
Just send it, like, full send.
Yeah? Well, we'd love to hear it, man. I'm looking forward to the new album.
Thanks, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited for people to hear it. I think a lot of people are going to be really shocked, but at the same time, it's going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's just like I asked you about that because there's definitely I don't want to call it risk, but there's definitely there's gonna be a change in your audience. You know, some people won't fuck with it.
Oh yeah,
Some people won't fuck with it, but you will find new people.
100%.
And you're, you know, well, it sounds like what you were saying before is that you're essentially going to be evolving your sound without losing the essence of, you know, what you've been until now. You're
Right.
adding more on top, more layers, more, you know, more authenticity, like you're saying. But you're growing as an artist,
Yeah.
and the rest of your band is as well. And a moment's notice is not turning into something else entirely, but you are becoming more, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like it's
And
just like for us it's a level up.
yeah,
Like we're constantly when we're recording music, and like for anybody out there that's recording, like you should be going in with the intention of every next song being better than the one prior. Like you got to just keep working towards like that perfection, quote unquote. Like it's not really perfection, but like you're searching for that thing, that one song. And then when somebody's like, what's your favorite song to play, and you're like, God, it's really fucking hard to pick one because they're
yeah,
all so much fun for different reasons. And like you gotta love it that much. So,
true. That's very true. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into being an artist in 2026, you know? And
Yeah.
it's always a good thing to be obsessed with your own craft as step one. But then on top of that, obviously, the reality of being an artist in 2026 is that you have to be also a content creator. You have to be, you have to have a business, you know, experience.
Right.
You have to know how to operate as a band without just losing money. So you know, content creation is another one, and it's a great way to get your music out there. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go into that one for a second. Like the reality of being an artist in 2026, being that you have to also be a content creator.
Yeah. That's a whole different like ball game. I mean, I'm a dinosaur in this industry. I'm like up there with like the older guys. So like,
Instagram and TikTok can be hard to keep up with.
yeah, it's wild. Like there's things that you don't even realize you have to do. I mean yourself included, like, you know, with drum content and stuff, like, you know, you're building your studio, and
Yeah,
you know, I'm doing, you know, the day, you know, the day in the life of a struggling musician, as well as making funny reels that of me just doing what I usually typically do. And I think, like, you know, pulling back that veil a little bit and showing people you're human too, like with the content, is like a big thing. You know, like we have this podcast, you know, we have our separate, you know, projects that we're in and what we're doing, but you know, then we also have our content that we're doing, and I can't play your drums. So
I
like,
can't do your vocals.
yeah, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like you have to like just dive into it more and just keep making all this content for, you know, one person, two people, you know, 70 people. Who cares? Like the number
Right.
doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's like you're just putting yourself out there, and you never know. Like somebody could be like, "Oh, dude, I love that video," or that hot take, or like, "Oh, that was hella funny," and it's like that's pretty cool. Like that means something to you, and I don't know. I enjoy every bit of it, man. Like it's pretty cool to. I was apprehensive about content creation, being like an older millennial and being like, I don't want to do this shit. Like,
Yeah, it's like wait,
boo-boo.
like wait a minute, I want to make music. Like, that's all I
Yeah,
want to do. But the thing is, so many people live on the internet that
Yeah.
like, how do you get people to come out to your shows? How do you get people to buy your merch through your website? You know, you have
Right.
to. All this content that we create is to channel people towards what we really want them to pay attention to, which is the music. You know, like
Right.
it all comes back to the same thing. And obviously, the reason that we are okay, the reason that we make music is because we're passionate about the music, and it's that simple.
Right.
But if we want to do it at a professional level, if we want to be able to dedicate more than just the hours after our day job towards it,
Right.
then we have to, you know, develop a following. And for me, that's building this space in my garage where, yeah, I'm going to start putting out drum videos. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to cover all kinds of different artists. I'm going to cover my own band's music. And every time somebody sees me pop up on their feed, like even if I'm covering one of the new Varials tracks off of that album they dropped recently, which
Banger.
I'm loving. It's a daily spin for me. So I'm probably going to learn a few of their songs and I'm going to play them, you know, with the EAD that I just got recently. And
Definitely a cheat code for sure.
yeah, definitely. But all of that is to send them to my profile so that they'll hit the follow button, so that they'll click the link in my bio and they'll actually see what I want them to pay attention to
Right,
in the
right,
first
right,
place. It all comes back to the music and what we want, you know,
Oh yeah.
what we want people to learn about. You know, it's not that I'm not going to enjoy it. Of course, I love playing along to bands' music,
Right.
but it's just it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle to gather attention and to gather influence so that we can, you know, so that we can get them to pay attention to the fact that, oh, my band just released a new song.
Yeah, it's basically like a social media billboard in a sense.
Yeah.
Like
It's your resume as an
Yeah.
artist. It really is.
yeah. And like even with this this podcast, I think excuse me. You know, there's so much that we could talk about creation and learning the hard struggles of being an artist, and you know, the fear and the doubts, and like you know, there's so much that goes into it. And like with like a sound change, like you're like, okay, like how do you go about that? And you just got to do it, and it's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. And then like when you're making content, it feels so foreign, and because you're not doing it all the time. But then like
Yeah.
when you start doing it, you're like, okay, that's like different. And then like, you know, like podcasting, like we can yap, but our hosts, like our guests, you know, they're sitting there like, man, I've never been on a podcast. I get nervous on a mic. And then they get it back here and they're like, oh, I'm just like hanging out with friends. And it's like that sense of normalcy that you have to kind of create. You have to kind of create and cultivate that so it doesn't feel unnatural and it feels natural, and you're just capturing that in live time.
That's true. You might have musical prowess, but you're not necessarily going to be comfortable being on camera. I know at first I definitely wasn't. And
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, I
you know,
wasn't either.
it's going to be different every time we bring in a new guest here. You know, like everybody we've brought on, we bring them on because we've had amazing conversations with them before, but there's something about turning on the camera and putting the lights on you, similar to when you start tracking music in a studio as opposed to just playing it. There's something about that microscope being on you that kind of makes you tighten up a little bit.
Very
and,
much so.
And that's the
That's
thing.
massive. That's
Yeah,
huge.
But in 2026, right? Like we're
Right.
saying, you have to get comfortable with that if you
Yeah.
if you want people to even know that you exist. And it,
Yeah.
in a way, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I
it's,
mean-
it's kind of sad that, you know, I can say that I'm a good drummer, but nobody's gonna fucking know about it if I don't post videos of me playing. No, you know, I can't get hired by a band if nobody knows that I can play. If you don't have an Instagram account that's showing a lot of followers and that you feel comfortable behind the kit playing other bands' music, if you don't have that, you essentially don't exist. If you go on tour with a band and you don't post about it, that tour essentially does not exist.
No,
And-
God, no, it doesn't. Like
and
that,
it's kind of a mixed bag. Like it's kind of sad in a way, but also the internet has, you know, also provided the opportunity for us to put out the word on such a grander scale. So there's good and there's bad to it, you know. It's good to recognize both sides of it,
Right.
but it's something that you absolutely have to master, is being comfortable being in front of a camera and showing the whole world what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's necessary. I think that there's so many uncomfortable. Like being a musician is the most uncomfortable thing in the entire world. Like,
Interesting. Why do you say that?
well, think about it. Like, and this is probably like one of the biggest hot takes, but like from the beginning of your love and your drive for it, right? Let's say for singing or screaming or drums, right? Mm-hmm. First time you picked up those sticks, you didn't know how to hold them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know how to play. You figured out your first rudiment, and then you were like, okay, I'm a little bit better off. And you're uncomfortable the entire time. And then, you start your first band and you play your first show and you get on stage and you're uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Getting used to something brand new.
Getting something brand new. Then you go professionally record your first song and you got that microscope on you. It's uncomfortable again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're working crazy hours to fund the band stuff. You're uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fact. Okay, I feel you.
You're constantly uncomfortable until you aren't.
Yeah. Even once you get out on tour, usually like after you've been away from home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, you're pretty uncomfortable sleeping in a van or on a bus.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, it's like you have to be kind of there's a military term, it's like embrace the suck.
Mm-hmm.
And like you kind of have to do that. Like you have to embrace the grind of it and the uncomfortability of it and the nerves and stuff. Like playing Ace of Spades in front of 1,600 people for the first time, like I got on that stage and I was like, oh shit, that's a lot of people. And I didn't know how I was going to take it, but I just kind of just ran with it. Mm-hmm. But I was uncomfortable, but at the same time, once that first note hit, like it kind of just whoop right out the window. Because I was only focused on the performance now. The people were there, but the people weren't in my eyes. Like I was performing for me to do the best I could.
Yeah.
And that level of uncomfortability and learning how to overcome it is so massive, because once you're no longer nervous or you care about a lot of the kind of like negative feelings of it all, you find so many more positives about it.
Oh yeah, I would say performing is therapeutic for me.
Very much so for me too.
I don't know what it is about when the set starts, like you just mentioned, how the whole crowd, it's not that they disappear, but they all blend together, and you're no longer thinking about the fact that 600 people are standing right in front of me,
Right.
And people you've never met before, people you're not necessarily comfortable around. It just becomes a crowd, which is a singular thing.
Right.
You're in front of the crowd and you're doing something you have a lot of experience doing, because you're not going to get on stage if you haven't rehearsed.
Right.
So,
and if you do, you're like, you don't.
You have a death wish if you do that. But
yeah. That's tough.
I would say once the music starts, then you're doing the exact same thing that you are doing in rehearsal anyway. So it's almost like I have forgotten about the crowd at times.
Same.
When you're performing, you definitely go into a zone, which I mean, I always say performance is the best distraction from nerves.
Yeah.
If you have nerves pre-stage, you're going to forget about it as soon as the set starts.
Yeah.
Like, so just get through that first moment where you hit that first note and then, I'm just doing what I love to do. I love playing drums. And There's something about, also for me, there's something about when the drums are mic'd up on stage, I feel like I'm the king of the universe.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Amazing. You holding that mic, especially when you guys, it was Bless the Fall, right? And Miss May I? That you at Ace of Spades?
Bless the Fall, Miss May I, Colorblind, and Dark Divine.
Right. Big show. You said it yourself,
Massive.
1,600 people, so you must have felt pretty powerful up there. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like, I live for the moments where a crowd is, like, super pumped.
Yeah.
And, like, we've never played a room that big, let alone did I even expect to get on that show. Like, I was like, oh, that's a cool show. Like, nobody's going to get added to that, though. Like, it's...
The lineup is complete.
Yeah, the lineup is complete. Right. Like, and then all of a sudden, a week before the show, we get told, like, hey, like, do you want to play the show? And I'm like, yeah? Like...
Cool, let's go.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, dude. And I think my drummer at the time, he had only been in the band for like a week, and he was like learning this stuff, and I was like, you have a week to learn everything. And he was like, shit. And like we were playing.
And by the way, we're opening up for Miss May I and Bless the Fall.
Right.
That's quite the bomb to drop, huh?
I know. And honestly, it was a first full circle moment for me too, because like knowing Jared for as long as I've known him, like I've always wanted to play with Jared from Miss May I. Like, yeah, always. Like that's my dude. Like I love him to death, man. He's such a cool dude, and like for him to be side stage and like listen to us and like be just even like a fraction of a part of his life like that, like, is so cool. And it was a really big full circle moment for me to be friends with somebody and then play shows with them. Kind of like how when I played with you guys with Traders, I was like, damn, that's tight. Or like going out to Orlando and being side stage with you guys, like, that's super special to me, because these are bands that I've looked up to, but now they're like homies of mine. And like chopping it up with you and Alan in the Airbnb and stuff like that, like those things like mean a lot. Or seeing Jared in the elevator when you and I were leaving, like,
Right.
and like we're crossing paths again, like randomly. But it's like, it's those micro, like, moments in music that mean so much to me. And so it's
I feel you.
Yeah.
And this is why the grind is worth it, because we put a lot of time into honing our craft, and it's not like that at first.
No.
You don't get into those circles by focusing too much on just wanting to be a part of those circles. You grind in silence. You go into the studio by yourself. You feel the isolation in the vocal booth. You record your vocals. You prepare to release the music. You go about promoting the music and releasing content that makes people care about what you're doing.
Right.
And then you start playing shows locally, and then eventually you get on the road under these bands.
Right.
And you work your way up the ladder. It's a long, steep climb, but it's so worth it, because the people who are touring nationally have fully dedicated themselves to creating art and, to providing entertainment and inspiration to all kinds of people. And
their mentality is different too.
Yeah, it's really outside the status quo, and it's something to look up to for sure.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've learned a lot is, like, at the national level or international level, like, nobody's worried about how insanely talented you are or who you know. It's, do you show up on time and do your job?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Show up, do your job.
Are you a good hang? That matters.
Yeah. Are you a good hang? Like, those are the things. And it's not about, the little bullshit drama back in your hometown that somebody is like, oh man, he cool guyed me, or oh man, he said hi to me and then like he like dipped out and it was like weird. Like, you're like, dude, nobody's worried about that. Like, everyone's like, in that setting, everyone's like, they have shit to do. They're busy. They're busy. Like, I would have loved to talk to Jared forever, but we were crossing paths in an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but you toured with him, so like, you know him better than I do.
That's when you get them not in a rush.
Yeah.
You find that downtime. But yeah, I mean, it really, you're not going to catch anybody's attention if you're not showing that you're about the work and the craft first. That's for any artists out there, focus on that first, because you got to have something that you yourself are bringing to the table before anybody's going to pay attention.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's invaluable, like, insight to give to somebody. And like, yeah, as a local artist, guys, like, seriously, like, don't be discouraged. Constantly work as hard as you can for what you're wanting. It's so taxing at times. And if you love it, you're never going to want it to not be like that, though. Because you're going to constantly be like, all right, this is the uncomfortable moments. And I'm getting so much more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm okay with that. And then the treat at the end is playing that show and seeing 600 people. Or playing a show with somebody you've played multiple shows with, and now you're on one of the biggest shows with them. There's nothing like it. And I know there's a lot of bands out in the local area in Sacramento that have played with bands repeatedly over and over again, and they've become like quasi friends with them, like, kind of like, oh yeah, hey, what's up, dude? Like, good to see you again. And like, they chop it up a little bit, and there's a familiarity there.
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping on, man. Yeah, you guys got it's tough, but if you want it bad enough, it'll happen.
It's tough, but it's so worth it.
So worth it. I promise you, it is. But I live for these moments, man. Like, this podcast is like everything to us. Like, we really enjoy what we do. We have a lot of really solid conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, And I think that's like the biggest thing. And I hope that everyone else is finding as much enjoyment in this as us, because we truly love spreading wealth of knowledge about this, because we've learned the hard way time and time again. And we know how it is. Like we've been there, and we don't want y'all to make the same mistakes as us, but at the same time, you got to learn your lessons too.
For sure.
Those lessons come in waves. Sometimes you got to eat dirt a little bit, but
It's just part of it.
that's part of it.
Part of the game.
Part of the game, y'all. But I appreciate y'all. Seriously, thank you so much for being here.
So do I.
Soul and I
We both appreciate it.
Yeah, Soul and I both love like what this has become. Having guests on here that have been fans of us as a podcast is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't thank you guys enough. If you guys want to be on this podcast and you're in a band and you're coming in the Sacramento area, or maybe like you're in the Bay Area and you're kind of close to us, like hit us up, let us know. We'd love to have you on. We'd love to talk. We'd love to pick your brain. Like everybody has a different story. Everyone has a different path. And, you know, there's no, as corny as it is to say, there is no stairway to heaven. Like there really isn't. Like you gotta just do it. And everybody has a different story. So hit us up. We're always open to having new guests on. And yeah, man, thank you guys. Like honestly, seriously, like we season 2 has been just honestly so much growth, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. But for now, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Link in the bio. Y'all keep doing your thing, and we'll keep doing ours. Appreciate y'all.
Cheers.